Hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life. So I just made a video a second ago where I was talking about um my mom and how messed up she is, and how sometimes it's hard to reconcile in my heart, still choosing to have a relationship with her um, when she has been and continues to be extremely abusive and has no insight, has no self-reflection, and no capacity to love. Not really, when it comes down to it. Um, and I'll put the link here if anybody wants to see it. One of the things that it was making me think about a lot, though, um, because I was talking about getting really angry and just being like, I'm just going to tell her about herself. Like, you deserve to die alone. That's what I feel like you need to know. Um, and it came from a friend of my mom's whose children are very, very, very successful, who for me is like demonstrative of what happens when you just tell your children that they're valuable and that they're worthy and that they're amazing and that you love them and that you give them that encouragement and that reassurance, right? And I was thinking a lot about this, and I was thinking a lot about how, like, you know, I deserve to have that. And at one point a thought hit me, and I was like, because I was thinking, just die already, mum. God, like, why are you still here? Just die. Like, you're useful to nobody. Nobody bloody likes you in this house. You're so fucking fake. Like, all your friends, they like you because they know nothing about you. If they knew what kind of person you were, they would want nothing to do with you because you're just a cunt. Just die already. Just die. Like, you're useless here. You've spent your time, like, and you've spent it really poorly at that, right? Oh, God, that got me so angry I had to burp. Anyway, I was thinking about that. And then I started thinking, no, maybe you should stick around and I should use this as motivation to become so fucking successful in life that you're literally eating shit every day. And I want you to see it, and I want to revel in it, and I want to revel in you always telling me that I would never amount to nothing and only, like, whatever, right? This is what I was thinking about. I mean, they're very ugly thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. They're very fucking ugly thoughts. Um, and not something that I generally enjoy indulging in, thinking in this way about anybody. Because I just think, well, I wouldn't want someone to think that way about me because of mistakes that I've made. And I've made plenty, right? And actually, is it comparative or is it relative? Because I was just thinking, well, I haven't made the kind of mistakes my mum's made. Kind of an asshole person you'd have to be to do that, But actually, it's comparative because I may have done a very small thing in my mind to somebody, and that could have been the biggest thing for them. That could have really rocked them. So I can't really compare it in that way. It's all just completely relative. Um, but what I would say, what I would take from it actually, is what I notice about myself, particularly if I'm going through some kind of emotional strain, like if I feel emotionally drained, if I feel like I don't have the energy to be loving and to give love and to hold that kind of like higher vibrational state where I'm like, right, I'm not gonna get down here in the fucking with the riffraff, um, being all bitter and twisted because someone didn't give me something, or someone wasn't the person that I needed them to be, or that they should be because they've got this title of like mum, and mum means this and dad means this and child means this, and now you've offended me because you're not fulfilling this role that I have given you because you've got a particular title. when I get like that, what I notice is that I tend to go into myself. So what I tend to start doing is I tend to start self-harming and doing these really little microaggressions against myself. So I'll stop looking after myself. I'll stop washing my hair. Like, when I used to suffer quite badly with my mental health, you'd always know when my mental health was on the floor because I'd look like fucking Einstein. My hair would just be like sticking out of my head everywhere. And I'd have like this crazed look in my eye. And, I wouldn't be sleeping and I'd be staying up all night and I'd be smoking fucking 20 fags a day. And I wouldn't want to talk to anyone and I wouldn't want to be near anyone and I wouldn't want anybody to touch me. And I'd like, I don't know, just start making some really poor decisions um, and start harming myself in a lot of different ways. And honestly, the last like 3 or 4 days, that has been the case. I've been up till 2 o'clock in the morning, just mindlessly watching stuff on Netflix or, Prime or whatever. I've been working to the point of distraction, you know. Um, I've not been giving myself any time. I've not been giving myself any love. I've not been giving myself any TLC. And that whole thought of like the big fuck you, mum, I made it. It made me think of two things. So firstly, it made me think of like this weird relationship, this weird special relationship. And I made a video about that and I'll find it and I'll put it here. But this weird special relationship that I have with these videos, with external validation, like with needing to be acclaimed, and that kind of being personified in this. It made me think actually that a lot of that really is just the personification of the relationship that I have with my mum. That there's something about me that needs to prove to her, actually, I am worthy. I am valuable. See, you told me my whole life that I wasn't. And it's not enough evidence to just have one person who says that I'm valuable. I need 50,000, 100,000, a million, 2 million. I need that many people to show that I am worthy so that I can stick it in your face. Yeah. And maybe some of that is like a belief that I don't think that she would accept it. And she hasn't accepted it when one person has said, oh, actually, your daughter's actually quite amazing. She just goes, oh, yeah, okay. If you say so. I mean, I don't think she is, but if you want to have that opinion, which is clearly the wrong opinion, by the way, because it's not my opinion, then go ahead. But it's not going to change my mind. I still think that she's a worthless piece of shit. So I think there's something about that, but then it's also, I think, something in me that's like, it has to be the biggest, most outlandish, most like, what's the word? Inarguable evidence. Like there needs to be empirical data that is like undisputable that says that I am actually worthy of something, which is why it needs to be so big. And just thinking about like that thought process that I went through where I was like, well, actually, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this as a motivation to say, fuck you. I'm really important. I guess, is that so wrong? That's my thought. Is it so wrong? I think that, okay, it needs to come from a place that is not distorted and twisted. It needs to not be a reaction to something that my mum has or hasn't done that has upset me or broken my heart or made me angry or whatever, right? Because that's really unhealthy for me to just be doing it very simply so that I can say fuck you. But also, rather than going into myself and harming myself, why can't I take this as some more healthy motivation to say, actually, I want to reach my full potential something that maybe you never saw in me or thought that I was capable of or knew how to invest in a way that was loving and caring. I want to reach that full potential, not to say fuck you, but because I know that I can do it, despite the fact that you've told me several times that I can't, multiple times, every day of my life, that I can't, that I'm not worthy. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like reframing it so that the emotional charge behind it is still there but isn't coming from a dark and distorted place could actually be really helpful for me. So instead of having those feelings and going inwards and becoming insular and isolating myself from the world, why don't I take those feelings and change that mentality, change that mindset, and make a decision to move forward and to use it as motivation to move forward? And I think the only way that that can really be done is by reframing it so that it's not this bitter, reactive, immature, childish response to someone who's just really fucking broken when it comes down to it. So yeah, I'm not fully aware of what that is or what that process is, but I think just having the awareness that there is something that needs to be processed is really helpful. And being aware that I don't want to be bitter is really helpful. And being aware that I don't want to just stick it to my mum and that's my only motivation. Because that's just kind of sad, really, isn't it? It's a little bit pathetic. I think that's a really good starting point, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's where I'm at. So let's see, something that I'm grateful for off the back of that. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Life is happening for you and it's also happening from you. It's not happening to you. It's not happening to me. It's not happening to anyone else. The minute that we start thinking all these horrible things happen to me and look how hard my life has been. No, they're happening for you so that you can learn something, so that you can grow, so that you can progress, so that you can overcome something that you came here to this world to overcome. Like, and my mum is a beautiful catalyst for that, right? No matter how hard it is and no matter how devastating it is to have a mum who doesn't know how to love you, that's maybe something that needed to happen in order for me to even be aware that I needed to learn to love myself. And I do honestly think that, our souls, before we came to this world, we made agreements. We made agreements with the people that are in our lives that are around us, where they've said, okay, well, listen, right, so what I'm going to do in this lifetime is I'm going to be an absolute chronic bitch, yeah? Because you've said to me that you want to grow in this way. You want to learn to love yourself, irrespective of whether anybody else around you loves you. And that's what I'm going to do for you, And my mum is playing that role to a T. She needs a fucking Oscar, for the role that she is playing in my life right now. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm grateful that I have that catalyst there to be able to move me forward, to move my soul forward, to move my mind forward, to move my life forward in this way. And I guess if I'm thinking about the overarching progress of my soul throughout the entirety of all the lives that I live, and I think also about the overarching growth of myself, evolution of myself within this life, it's the same thing, to not do it out of bitterness and spite, but to do it as a thank you, to this person, to be able to dedicate it to this person rather than do it to spite them. Yeah. I think that's it for now. I think that's it.